Hi, I'm the Lockpicking Cuber. For this video I decided to combine two puzzles together. They're both Jean-Claude Constantin wooden lock puzzles. And the other thing they have in common is I was really quite disappointed by both of them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what happened when I opened them up, took them out of the packaging, had a go at solving them. You can form your own view on whether I did solve them or not. I'll be really interested to hear what you think. Anyway, let's have a go. I'm going to start off with this one, and then after that I'll move on to this one, and then I'll talk about my view of them together. I'm going to have a look at another Jean-Claude Constantin wooden puzzle. This one's called Kassenschloss, which I think means cash register, but I don't really understand why this is a cash register. To me it looks like a combination padlock. I got this from the Puzzle Master Canada website, where I paid 40 Canadian dollars. But you can buy it from all sorts of other places as well. I also got myself a new timer, so you can see how long it's taking me to solve the puzzle. So let's get this open and have a look at it. All right, so as always with these Constantin puzzles, lovely wood with these, I guess, stainless steel metal bolts going through these wheels. The wheels turn, a certain amount, about 180 degrees, and then they meet resistance, or at least that one does, yeah, and that one, and that one. Okay, so they all seem to turn about 180 degrees at the moment. I wonder if we have to get them to turn more than that somehow. I thought they'd be sort of linked to each other, but they currently seem to be independent, as far as I can tell. And they're all connected to these screws in the back here, and obviously the shackle doesn't open at the moment, so let's have a go. I'm going to start the timer and then see how long it takes me to solve it. Okay, so the first question is, if the screws are pushed out the back this way, does that make any difference? And then what if they're pushed this way? Lift it to make it turn further. No. That would be too easy, right? If I tip it up, it's interesting because you have a lot of gap in there. You can see right the way through the puzzle. So the layers really don't sit together very closely. You can also see there's this piece here. So the shackle comes in here, and goes all the way around to there. That's interesting. I wonder how that's going to come out then. Maybe the whole thing opens up. Try turning the screw independently of the wheel. You also have this little bolt here. Oh, hang on. Oh, right, this seems to come out. Do they all come out? Some of them do, that's for sure. Oh, I see. And then they turn all the way around. Well, that's interesting. Okay, this one, yeah, they'll come out. Oh, okay. Oh, I guess they come all the way out if you want them to. Oh, that's really interesting. So, what this makes me think is that there is a kind of a semicircular sort of smile shape down here, like a groove that this pin was running through. Now the pin's pulled out, the whole wheel can turn. So I wonder if there's going to be a position up here that the pin can drop into. Is that going to happen? No. So this pin only drops down on this bottom section. And I wonder if this is true of all of them. Let's just see if any of them have a position where the pin can drop down. Just feeling for whether there's a hole. Yeah, not until down here again. That's those three. I haven't actually pulled this one out yet. Oh, that one's quite stiff. I mean, I'm assuming these are meant to come out. I hope I'm not breaking the puzzle again. Ah dear, that would be bad. Can you see the gap there? Not really. one's much stiffer than the other, so I'm going to come back to it. Okay, no. So there goes that theory. I was thinking maybe there'd be a single hole in a particular position on the top half of each wheel and the pin would drop in, but that would have been way too easy. So yeah, it's not that. I'm not 100% convinced that you're meant to pull these pins out now. I don't know. I worry that I'm over puzzling. Again, this really comes apart a long way, and that's not the kind of thing you'd get in a Constantine puzzle if there wasn't a reason for it. Oh, wait a minute. I can actually see a thread on this. This unscrews. Can that be deliberate? Do they all have threads? That one doesn't. Ah, but this one does. Whoops. Okay, so then the wheel just comes off. I mean, I don't think this can be the answer, right? I feel like this is kind of a little sad, though, that they just come apart that easily. But anyway, I'm going to make the assumption that that was a mistake, and I should not do that. I'm sort of alarmed by how far apart these layers move, and I'm thinking, you know, that can't just be an accident. That would have meant using screws that were like several millimeters too short, so it's deliberate. I feel like that's a reasonable assumption, and that means that somehow it plays a part in the solution. It's either to do with the wheels moving out this way, the wheels moving independently along the pin, or the position of the pins themselves. Did I try this? Can't remember if I tried actually just pulling all these pins out and then just seeing what happens. Again, now I'm really second guessing myself though. Is this what you're meant to do? Are these pins supposed to come out? I don't know. Oh, interesting. So now this is lifting up a little bit, but not all the way. Okay, this must be sensible, surely. And I'm seeing these interesting shapes in here. Oh, these are, oh, I see. Right, these are just, that's the smile, and then this is the hole that this goes into. But the fact that that hole is elongated means you're meant to do this. Oh, and then is that the solution? Am I finished? I mean, the padlock is open. The shackle is open. Okay. That took about 9 minutes. I think that's the solution. There's another solution where you undo all these screws and the whole thing presumably falls apart, but I don't really want to do that. I think that must be wrong. But even this feels kind of wrong. You're pulling out these pins so that the wheels turn. Well, maybe it's right. I mean, it does seem like it's designed to do this. I can't see that it can come out any further. Yeah, it can't come out any further unless you remove these screws. So, okay, I guess that's the solution. Okay, it's a few days later now, and I think I've found out how you're supposed to solve this, although I'm still not 100% sure. So I went back to the website that I bought the puzzle from, the Puzzle Master website, and I saw that it said that the solution to this puzzle involved finding the right combination on the dials. I also saw that it gave the puzzle a difficulty rating of 8 out of 10. I thought, okay, well, pulling the pins out cannot surely constitute an 8 out of 10 rating. So I found a solution, which is this one. I'll explain how I found it and why I'm not 100% convinced of the method. So the first thing I tried to do was to decode it the way that you would decode a normal combination lock. So I pulled on the shackle, the idea being here that this will then press against one of the wheels that's where it just happens to be closest, and so you'd get a stiff wheel. Maybe it's this one. Actually, this one's pretty stiff too. And so then you'd sort of twist it until you found a loose spot. So I don't know, maybe that's it. Yeah, okay. In fact, sort of feel a gate there, right? So it catches sometimes when I try and pull it around this way. It sort of stops there. So I'm thinking that's right. So anyway, I tried doing this, and I don't know. I'm not convinced that it's the method you're supposed to use. It really is very difficult to get it right. I mean, I know this is in the wrong position, for example. Honestly, what I did in the end is I just took advantage of the fact that there's this enormous gap in here, and I could see inside the mechanism. If you can see this, you can see the side of the pin there, and I could see the channels that the pins are meant to go down. By looking through the side and from the top, I could see the channels for all 6 of them, and that was how I ended up figuring out this was the combination. If that's the method you're supposed to use, then that's really disappointing. If it's not the method you're supposed to use, then I still don't know how you're supposed to solve this. I'm going to have a look at Jean-Claude Constantine's Pick Lock box, which I got from Puzzle Master Canada for about 60 Canadian dollars. Right, so what have we got? We've got a wooden box. It's got 2 hinges on the back here. It's got these brass pieces on the corners, and then there's a lock, a little padlock with a key. It's exciting, holding it shut. And let's see how long it takes to figure this out. So the first thing I'm wondering is whether any of these sort of brackets on the corners move. If they do move, it's not easy. Oh, notice this pin is sort of just popping out, but my experience with the last Constantine puzzle I solved was that you shouldn't pull pins out, so I'm going to assume that isn't the solution. Which is interesting because it doesn't really leave anything else. I mean, there are the standard things like, whacking it and shaking it and spinning it and so on. Let's see if I can hear anything. There's absolutely nothing rattling. If there is anything in there, it's very firmly held in place. I think I've made 0 progress so far. I don't think I understand anything about this other than what's obvious at first glance. Unless it's just this pin, which again, I don't know, that doesn't feel right to me. I think there's nothing sort of, I don't think it's about manipulating the padlock. That doesn't seem very likely. Okay, let's see if when I push it in, does that make anything possible? Oh! Ah! I just pushed down on the shackle, and what is happening here? Well, this is interesting. Oh, I do hope this is deliberate. That seems to be as far out as it comes. Alright, so we have this hinge pin here, and unlike these ones, it's kind of accessible. And I'm a little loath to do this, but having discovered this pin earlier, the fact that this pin comes out, these other pins I think don't, maybe making me wonder if you're supposed to use this pin. So I'm just wondering, basically, if I can use the pin to push out the hinge pin here. I don't know, it feels like it's, oh yeah, it does actually move. It feels like it's cheating, but I mean, presumably this would work. Okay, it's coming out, and now it's stuck, I think. Okay, maybe there's something holding it in place. Oh, wait, no, okay. It came out. Okay, I was a little worried I'd damaged the wood there. Yeah, I did slightly dent it, I think. That's a shame. So now, will that just open? I think so. Okay, so this feels like a Pyrrhic victory. I mean, I got it open using only the box and its constituent parts, but is that really a puzzle? Have I really solved the puzzle? I don't know. I'm not particularly convinced. Let's just, maybe if I put this back in, I can keep on going and see. I assume I'll be able to get it back in. Yeah, there we go. Okay, just pushes in with my fingernail. Actually, yeah, I mean, it moves pretty easily. I wonder if that is the solution then. It's a bit of a weird solution if it is. I mean, the other thing is, of course, you could just pick the lock using the pin. I wonder if I could do that. I mean, there's just a lever there, right? Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, so that's two ways that I've got it open. Right? Yeah. But both of them rely on this pin, and I don't know, I'm not 100% convinced. Oh, I wonder if the key actually works. Ooh, oh yeah, of course. And none of this relates to the fact that the padlock just pops open. I mean, that just seems like a really poor design. Really shoddy. Okay, yeah, the key works fine. Okay, just logically, only one of the pins seems to come out. So that makes the pin special, and that means perhaps that using it is valid. I'm put off by the fact that the previous puzzle, which was this one, pulling the pins out, which was equally easy, was, I'm pretty sure, not part of the solution. So that's putting me off. And they're both Jean-Claude Constantine puzzles. The second thing is how easily this opens, which, you know, gives you access, visibility and access to the lever. So if I combine those two things together, the fact that this one pin comes out, the padlock sort of pops open that way, you can then pick it. Maybe that's the intended solution. I mean, the fact that you can also just push out the hinge pin. Okay, well, if you know a better way to open this, or if you know that there is actually technically a correct way to open this puzzle, I'd really like to hear that from you. I'm just going to make a comment on both of these puzzles. They're both Jean-Claude Constantine puzzles. They both look very nice, both kind of beautiful. In both cases, I can't really tell if I've solved them. It's an unsatisfactory feeling. I like a puzzle where you just know, oh yes, that's the solution. But with this one, I mean, I have a couple of complaints. One, I think it's just shoddily put together. The mechanism is all, honestly, just kind of badly put together and leads to all kinds of faults. I mean, look at this. There we go. This pin just popped out of its own accord. Now, the tolerance on some of the wheels is actually pretty tight. So if I turn that off just a little bit, it won't open, and now it opens. But this one, you can go off by 90 degrees. And it opens pretty happily. Or even more than 90 degrees, actually. It's like about 120 degree range with this one. I mean, maybe that's intentional, reduces the number of combinations. Anyway, I think both of these puzzles, for what they are, they're kind of expensive. I think there's some variability. Some of Constantine's puzzles are amazing, and some of them, like these two, I think I'm a little dubious about. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching me struggle with both of these puzzles. Please do click like, and if you want to see more of this kind of thing, then subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.